If you were to improve your relationship with yourself, where would you start? If you gave yourself what you give others, how would that help your life? How do you support your worth and your value currently? In what ways are you disbelieving, hypercritical, judgmental, or even hostile towards yourself? And finally, if you were to throw yourself fully into improving your relationship with you, how would that affect your life, your relationship, your dreams, your goals? I'm asking these questions because in all of my years of coaching executives, investors, working professionals, and more, I have found a common theme. Most of the struggle we think is external is the result of internal struggles. Beliefs about ourselves, lies about our identity, early programming around fear and lack and limitations, on and on and on. So today I want to share 4 ways you can maximize your potential and support your ability to be who you were created to be, to do what you feel passionate to do, and to have what you desire most. Let's get into it. All right, first up, number 1, is becoming the number 1 provider of your 4 basic needs. What am I talking about? Every single person on this planet was born needing 4 essential things. Number 1, unconditional love. Number 2, safety. Number 3, belonging. And number 4, significance. Now I want you to think about your childhood, your formative years, and how much, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, did you feel unconditional love, safety, belonging, and significance? Now, we all got parents. We got the parents we got. Some of them seemed to be very unqualified, and some meant well but didn't have great tools. Some did a great job, but they weren't necessarily perfect. And what did that produce? Some gap in the amount of unconditional love, safety, belonging, and significance we felt growing up. Real or perceived, it affected us and it changed the way we developed, the way we matured. Well, the good news is after around 6 years old, there's only one person on this planet who can actually provide those things to you. You guessed it, you. You are the only person who can give yourself unconditional love, safety, belonging, and significance. How do you do that? Well, you decide that you were worthy of it, deserved it, and are in need of it, and that you want to throw off any limitation to giving that to yourself. So here's the question. What would it take for you to start giving yourself unconditional love? What conditions did you learn to hold over yourself? If I only get this together in my life, if I only do this right, if I could only have had this from my past, what would it be like for you to throw off all of those limitations and perceptions and just decide, I am giving myself unconditional love, no strings attached, no matter what I do or don't do, right or wrong, I am choosing to love myself unconditionally. Well, what ways are you keeping yourself safe, or what ways does that need to improve? Are there areas where perhaps you are putting yourself at physical risk? Perhaps you have relationships that become hostile or physically violent. Perhaps you play some dangerous games with your health, everything from eating to ingesting substances that cause harm. What ways do you need to close the gap between how safe you currently are physically, emotionally, mentally, verbally, all of those different ways, relationally? What ways do you need to shift and change things so that you are providing optimal safety for yourself? What about belonging? Oh, what ways were you made to feel like you didn't belong? Perhaps to your own family, perhaps to your earliest friend groups, classrooms, things of that nature. What ways have you been feeling, or maybe perhaps still feel, like an outsider and that you belong to no one? And what happens if you decide to belong to yourself no matter what? Now, here's the thing. Belonging is acceptance, and the opposite of acceptance is rejection. When do you feel rejection? How do you feel overlooked, ostracized, or relegated to a less than or an other than? And what would happen if you, instead of being in self-rejection or perhaps aligning with the beliefs that you are worthy of rejection, decided to accept yourself right now as you are, flaws and all? If you decided, I belong to me, and I can decide to embrace myself, be my number one companion, and belong to me full-hearted no matter what, how would things change? And finally, what about significance? What ways were you made to feel like you had nothing to offer, or that whatever you had to offer wasn't relevant, wanted, or desired? Perhaps you were never even cultivated to look for and sense that you had something to contribute. I always think about when we were little, we started learning how to wipe the counters or wash the dishes or vacuum the floors. What about your children? Remember when they were in that mode? And how upset they would be if they found you had done the job without them, or if you came along to try to help them and they push you away. No, no, I can do it. What was that? That aching, I want to show that I can contribute. I want to make a contribution or a deposit into the well-being of this family with whom I belong, or maybe even am trying to get belonging from. But that need to feel pride. I did it. I tied my shoes by myself. I helped with the chores. I vacuumed. Daddy, Daddy, I vacuumed. What ways do you now need to cultivate, celebrate, nurture, and release your significance on the world? Your circles of influence, your own family, your workplace, your social groups, your community at large. Where do you sense a strong desire to deposit something that you do or something that you believe, someone that you are, into the environment or the world at large in order to make a difference? So, how do you become the number one provider or supplier of your own unconditional love, safety, belonging, and significance? And when you grow that and nurture that, you are powerfully changing your relationship with yourself. Number 2, sever the lies. All of these experiences that I'm talking about and experiences outside of them have generally taught us some really powerful lies about ourselves. And those lies feel true. I don't matter. I'm worthless. I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. Good enough, smart enough, tall enough, the right race, the right gender, from the right side of the tracks, rich enough, pretty enough, popular enough. All of these different lies that have convinced us that we are less than or other than. And from those deep-seated subconscious beliefs, we function out of alignment with purpose and a healthy relationship with ourselves. So, give you a clue here. One of the greatest ways you can sever the lies is to establish and embrace the truth. Here's the thing about lies. A lie spoken and believed 1,000,000 times is still a lie. The truth, never known, embraced, or accepted even once, is still the truth. What's true about you? What's always been true about you? Give you a little help here. Most of the time, it's the exact opposite of the lie. I'm not enough. I am enough. I don't matter. I matter. I can't do anything right. I have tons of potential, capability, and purpose. So, how do you cultivate and grow the truth and embrace it on a deep subconscious level? I'm going to give you a quick tool for that so that embracing that truth drives out the lies that you've been believing, perhaps your whole life. Well, I want you to know that those lies got deposited so powerfully in you through your five senses. The frowning look of a parent, the shaking head of disapproval, perhaps the sounds and smells of your house growing up were the places and the environments where you were impacted most with neglect, abuse, or just a lack of nurturing and safety. And because of that, oftentimes in our lives, it takes just little of the exposure of those things that make us feel the lies that are triggered deep in our subconscious. Well, if through your five senses you begin to embrace the truth, I am worthy of unconditional love and acceptance. I matter, period. I have worth and value. And you start connecting it to things that are your five senses. The smell of your coffee, the taste of that coffee on your tongue, the sound of unwrapping your peppermint. This is one of my favorites, by the way. This smell, the sound, and the taste of these peppermints scream from my deep subconscious, I am worthy of unconditional love and acceptance. I deposited that truth into my deep subconscious about 12, 15 years ago when I was trained in this very material that I'm providing for you today. So now when I'm not even consciously thinking of it, just unwrapping one of these mints, smelling it, tasting it, echoes the truth that's been true for me all along. What about things that you see? Perhaps it's the peak of a church steeple, or when I lived in Phoenix, it was a big, beautiful palm tree against the blue sky. For some people, it might be a flower or their dream car. It could be their favorite room in the house and looking around and finding so much worth in tying the truth about you to an environment that speaks powerfully to you. One of my clients, when she saw or believed the truth that I am enough, she saw a woman in a long skirt walking on a beach. So I invited her to Google that image, find one that really spoke to that truth. Make it your wallpaper on your cell phone. Make it your wallpaper on your desktop or your laptop. Maybe send it to one of those print places, Walgreens, other places that print up your photos. Get a few of them and stick them next to your bathroom mirror while you're brushing your teeth, declaring your truth while looking at what it looks like to be I am enough, I matter, or whatever the truth about you would be embracing. What textures would you feel against your skin, with your hands, or perhaps underneath your feet that would speak to that truth? And tying in the embrace of that truth through those textures, I brought back a volcanic rock from Guatemala. And so sometimes I sit here and rub that rock and I declare truth about me. It makes all the difference. Fabrics, textures, perhaps a big fuzzy blanket you wrap around yourself. Whatever the case may be, pulling a feeling into it. What do you hear when you hear the truth about you? Perhaps it's a river, a babbling brook. Perhaps it's a waterfall, or the sound of children laughing, the sound of wind blowing past your ears, tying the smells. Honeysuckle, one of my clients. There's another scent that's coming to me. Apple pie was another one of my clients. So what smells would speak that truth to you, and you can tie, closing your eyes, speaking that truth to the sight, the sound, the taste, the feel, the smells that would deposit that truth deep into your subconscious so that you can, by embracing that truth, drive out any perception that the lies have any merit. And a lie that's been proved a lie cannot be stood upon. It's like a foundation that crumbles. Doesn't matter if it was 18 feet wide by 18 feet deep. When it was crumbled, you can't stand on it the same. Your footing is uneasy. And so the foundation of lies you've been standing on, they get crumbled and you can no longer stand on them. Meanwhile, the truth that you begin embracing becomes a 18, 36, 72 wide base in every direction that you can stand on, run on, flips, jumps, pirouettes, dance on. And you're widening and deepening the foundation of truth. And that helps you sever the lies. Now, the third thing you must do is let go of the tools that don't work. What's that all about? Well, in our growing up years, even the best of our parents often used a certain set of tools, I think of the top 6, to try to motivate us to do our best, to be good, to not embarrass them, or to help them compete with other parents, to live vicariously through us, whatever their motive was. They used a certain set of tools. Here's what it was: guilt, shame, judgment, condemnation, criticism, punishment. Guilt, shame, judgment, condemnation, criticism, and punishment. Now, because we were tiny little tape recorders and really good learners, here's what we learned. When I fall short, when I fail to meet expectations, I deserve guilt, shame, judgment, condemnation, criticism, punishment. And we say, okay, thanks, mom, thanks, dad, thanks, teacher, thanks, whomever, coach, whoever it was that impacted us this way. I got it. I'll take it from here. Wham, 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 wham. We become, just take the word self and put it in front of all 6 of those. We become very good at self-guilt, self-shame, self-judgment, self-condemnation, biting, brutal self-criticism, and self-punishment. One of my clients, one of the things that I was asking him, where's your bang head here sign? He's, what do you mean? I said, where do you go to just beat yourself up for what you're not doing right? He said, Mark, there's a hole behind my whiteboard because I punched the wall angry at myself. So how do you brutalize yourself with even self-punishment? Now, looks cute, doesn't it? Oh, I'm so stupid. But what just happened? I literally just said, I deserve to be smacked for falling short of expectations. That's self-punishment. Okay, so how did you develop these kinds of tools? Here's one of my favorite examples. It turns us into the sled dog that's just running as fast and hard and working as hard as we can while being mercilessly whipped. Mush, mush, ow, mush, ow. And we're like, who the heck is brutalizing me? And you already know the answer to this. Play along. You turn around to see, who is it that is doing this to me? And who is it on that sled cracking that whip? You. Brutalizing yourself for how you come up short when you fail to meet your own expectations, especially when you fail to meet the expectations of others. No. Let me help you today, okay? Put the whip down. Put the bat down. Put the brutalizing down. And here's what will invite you to do so. This question. If those tools worked, wouldn't we all be perfect by now? If self-guilt, self-shame, self-judgment, self-condemnation, brutal self-criticism, and self-punishment worked, wouldn't we all be perfect by now? Isn't it time to let those tools fall to the wayside? And number 4, pick up tools and master the tools that create support, belief, and potential of accomplishing your greatest desires and making and pursuing goals filled with self-belief. I want to give you those tools. Instead of self-guilt, what if you had self-curiosity? Self-guilt says, what am I good for? Self-curiosity says, what do I need? So, self-curiosity, what about this one? Self-support. Being the number one person in your corner instead of your number one worst enemy. What about this one? Self-compassion. Self-compassion. All right, self-judgment, self-criticism says, what do I need to be doing? Self-compassion says, what do I need? What do I need right now? What will help me? What will support me? What would deposit unconditional love, acceptance, significance? How can I give myself what I really need, not what doesn't help? So, self-curiosity, self-support, self-compassion. I hope you're sitting down. If you are, don't fall out of your chair. If you're not, don't fall. If you're driving, don't wreck. Number 4, self-kindness. Self-kindness. Okay? Do me a favor. If you can, close your eyes. If not, just take a deep breath. Just take a few seconds here and be kind to you. Just take a few seconds and give yourself kindness. Is that weird? Is it awkward? Is it breaking your heart that you've taken this long to ever even consider being kind to you? You notice these things I'm giving you, by the way, I've got more. Do you notice how we often run through a brick wall to give them to others? And here we are squirming and struggling to even give ourselves a drop of self-curiosity, self-support, self-compassion, self-kindness. Couple more here. Self-encouragement. What would happen if you were an encourager instead of a discourager? And finally, what about healthy self-confrontation? Why do I say that? Often we think about confrontation and it's only adversarial, hostile, and even by its definition, confronting. Well, healthy self-confrontation is, you're better than this. What you're doing right now is out of alignment with who you really are. And there's better in you, there's better through you, and there's better for you. And I'm expecting you to step up to the plate because I believe that you can do this. That's the difference between brutalizing yourself with condemnation and criticism and holding yourself accountable out of the awareness of your potential. So these 4 things are absolutely essential to changing your relationship with yourself. Number 1, being the number 1 supplier of your 4 basic needs: unconditional love, safety, belonging, and significance. Number 2, severing the ties with the lies that you've been believing for far too long. Number 3, letting go of the tools that don't work: self-guilt, self-shame, self-judgment, self-condemnation, self-criticism, self-punishment, and mastering the tools of support, encouragement, belief, and accomplishing everything you believe you have the potential and the requirement to live fully alive. You know, the world is waiting on this version of you. The world is desperately aching for you to fill what you are called to fill because only you can. What's that old phrase? There's already this person or that person. Don't die trying to be someone you're not. Die being the authentic person that only you can be. That person is wired to dream, to pursue, to accomplish, and to give into so many facets of life. And when you master these tools of self-support, self-curiosity, self-encouragement, self-compassion, self-kindness, and healthy self-confrontation, when you do all four of these things, what in the world happens to your relationship with yourself? And let me finish by saying this. When in all of my years working with people, coaching, training, facilitating, in all of these years, here's what I have found. When our relationship with ourself changes, it changes our relationship with everyone and everything. See, for far too long, you've been working too hard at those external relationships while having such a hostile, adversarial internal relationship. How can you possibly experience the external harmony, healthy boundaries, and balance that you need in every external relationship without cultivating and changing that internal relationship? Well, I triple dog dare you to make it your business to prioritize this self relationship. It will not make you selfish. It will not make you self-centered. It is not ego, vanity, conceitedness. It is a development of your healthiest, most vibrant self from which you are even more selfless than you've ever been. Giving out of a full tank instead of a deficit. Living from who you are, not for who you are. See, all of these external pursuits are ways we're trying to live for our validation, our sense of self, our sense of worth, our need for love. Living for instead of living from. Cultivating that self relationship causes you to begin to live from who you are. You need no external supply because you've become your own supply in alignment with your God-given identity and purpose. When that happens, watch out, world. Watch out, spouse. Watch out, family. Watch out, career, business, invention, the book that you're waiting to write. You need to get that book written. The business you're ready to launch, the things you're ready to do with your life, poems, songs, whatever your callings and giftings are, they are waiting for you to level up by changing radically your relationship with yourself. Well, if I can help you in any way, just find me, my information. You can reach out through the comments, contact me through social media. My information's here on the page as well. If I can coach you to your highest and best self, just reach out for a free discussion we can have about it and exploration. And I'd love to hear what that would mean for you and how I might be the coach that can come alongside and help you achieve just that. Listen, this is so vital in 2025. It's so vital to our world right now. And I'm not sure we can wait another day for this for you. And I know you cannot wait any longer to address this with some tools, with some support, and becoming the person you were always meant to be, but never allowed to be. Well, be well, be courageous, practice and master these changes in your relationship with yourself, and enjoy the fruit of that. I'll see you next episode.